Alright everyone, welcome to Balanced Druids in 5.4, going over complete changes, and we're going to try and help you guys out with the new talents. So, let's start off with Glyphs, I suppose. Glyph of the Moon Beast is baseline. It was replaced with Glyph of Guided Stars. Your Starfall only hits targets affected by Moonfire or Sunfire. This is completely situational, and it's really boss dependent. It's something like Paragons that's going to be useful for, because you only want to be damaging one mob. Otherwise, it's just padding. You know, you're not going to guarantee that your stars are always going to fall on the target that you want to push. It would have been the same thing with, like, Megara. No one ever killed Venom on Heroic, so why would you ever want your stars to hit that unless you're trying to parse? But that's just scumbag. Aside from this, there's no other noted changes except for that Healing Touch is now for Balance and Resto. So when you cast Healing Touch, the cooldown on Nature's Swiftness is reduced by 3 seconds. I should have this in. This is now your third glyph, unless you are 10-man and you need Rebirth, if you so choose. It's whatever, it's completely preference. I just think that Healing Touch is actually useful with the changes to Dream of Scenarios. And speaking of which, let's go right into the talents. Starting with the second tier, Nature's Swiftness is obviously baseline now, and it's replaced with the Sierra's Gift, which is just a passive 5% heal every 5 seconds to you or a nearby ally if you're at full health, which is pretty awesome. It does a fair chunk of healing, and it's not a button that you have to press, so we all like that. Looking at the fourth tier, Force of Nature got a slight buff, I believe. Just a little tuning thing with gear scaling. Soul of the Forest has been revamped. Instead of giving Eclipse upon leaving an Eclipse, it now gives you a 30-second buff called Astral Insight, which has an 8% chance to proc upon landing a Hardcast or Star Surge. This will move you half of an Eclipse. It'll move you 100, so if I were at 0 Eclipse and I had the proc, it would move me to my next Eclipse. If I were at 100 Eclipse and I used it, it would move me to 0 Eclipse. So chances are, you're not going to want to use it until you've reached 0 Eclipse. That's all well and good. Going on to the last tier. Heart of the Wild got no changes, other than for Resto, which is awesome. Nature's Vigil got a 2% damage bonus and I believe a 10% healing bonus, which is really awesome. The healing is actually going to be quite noticeable in 25-mans and 10-mans alike. In 10-mans, you can like solo heal your whole raid with Nature's Vigil every minute and a half. So you guys should actually look at that, because it's a 33% uptime. In 25-mans, it's going to be pretty noticeable if you have multiple Moonkins and you can just chain Nature's Vigil for the whole fight. Something guilds tried to do last year for like Dark Animus, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up working out. I don't know that it's going to be particularly useful. It'll be good for some fights, I'm sure. On to the big one, Dream of Scenarios. So Dream of Scenarios was really, really awful. It only empowered our next 2 dots after casting a Healing Touch, which just wasn't worth it. It was worth it for like Celestial Alignment, and that was it. And even then, we didn't have the time to hardcast. So what they've done is your next healing, or your Healing Touch increases the damage bonus of your next Eclipse by 25%. This is really good. When you think of an Eclipse, you need to think of Solar, Lunar, and Celestial Alignment. Celestial Alignment is its own Eclipse because it gives you the benefit of both, and you guys need to note that. It'll be really important for bursting. So the way to optimize this is to cast Healing Touch usually while you have Nature's Grace and Meta proc up. You can also do it at the end of your Nature's Grace if you know it's going to fall off and you have a Star Surge ready and queued to put you into the next Eclipse. So that way you don't have too much loss on Nature's Grace and you don't waste too much time hardcasting everything. Do note that Healing Touch is a baseline of 1.92 seconds with my haste, which is right above the breakpoint, just by 10. And Starfire is 2.07, so they're about the same. More or less the same cast time. And that's how they need to be treated. You have to treat it as an extra Starfire in your rotation, which is really awful. It really is. It's awful for Nature's Grace uptime, but you gain 25% bonus damage. Alright. Let's see what to move on to now. Alright. So I guess, now that I've covered talents and glyphs, should probably go into actual gameplay. Actually, I'm going to go into weak auras. So I've made a weak aura. I've made a lot of weak auras, as you can see. Alright. Welcome to Dream of Cenarius. Alright. This, what it does, you can copy this. I'll put it in the description. I'll put the code in the description. And I'll tell you guys how to do that. If you just hit new, import, and then you paste the giant list of characters there, and then hit OK, it'll pop up a little box. You hit import, and that'll be all well and dandy. So this Dream of Cenarius, I have it with 2 triggers, and both of them have to be, trigger in order to proc the aura. So right now it's not working. Awesome. You also put load conditions under in combat, Druid, balance spec, and tier 6 talent choice 2, which is Dream of Cenarius. Alright? You don't need this to be proccing when you're not on your Druid, because you're in spec 1 and tier 6 2. Anyways, moving on. Alright, so the first trigger is you lunar and solar eclipse. Just the auras. Note that I don't have any right now, and that's what I want. I want to hit inverse. I want to make this weak aura appear when I'm not in an eclipse. This is just a friendly reminder to use Healing Touch to get your Dream of Cenarius bonus. The other trigger is Dream of Cenarius itself. So, and you inverse that as well. So this weak aura will only load while I'm in combat on my Druid in balance with Dream of Cenarius. And it will only load when I do not have Eclipse and when I do not have Dream of Cenarius buff the aura itself. And so that way, when I leave an Eclipse and I haven't casted Healing Touch while in that Eclipse, it's a very friendly reminder to just cast Healing Touch to benefit from Dream of Cenarius, which is really good. Which is really good indeed. Alright. So we're going to move on to actual damage dealing. So I want you guys to note that our rotations did change. If you're going to be lunar bursting, you're going to Healing Touch before you burst. If you're in solar, you need to be already in solar, and then Healing Touch, Incarnation, and then CA. Alright. And do again note that after you get to lunar, if you're lunar bursting, when you run out of Eclipse, Healing Touch or NS Healing Touch, and then pop CA. That's another thing. Everyone should have an NS Healing Touch macro. You can just cast target equals player, or what have you. You cast. You can just hit target player, and then cast Healing Touch, and then target last target. Whatever you want. I'll put that in the description as well. Remind me if I don't, because I'm probably going to forget by the time this is actually uploaded. Alright. So we'll go into actually bursting now. Awesome. Notice that I casted Healing Touch while I was still in Eclipse. See, so I left an Eclipse, and now I have this friendly reminder. Alright, you guys probably get the idea by now. Alright, so you got the nice giant aura. I'm gonna hard cast Healing Touch because I don't have enough Nature's Grace left, and then I'm gonna pop Star Surge to get into my Solar Eclipse. Alright, that's all I'm gonna do. Watch your meta proc, watch Nature's Grace proc. Awesome, got both of them. Gonna get the Healing Touch off and the Wrath. Awesome, beautiful. Alright. Do I want to do... Yeah, we'll do Solar Force for you guys, alright? I'll cut this clip and then I'll come back after Solar Force has come off cooldown. Alright, so I'm back and I have Solar Forest and all is well and good. Time to go into weak ores. Alright, so this is my Astral Insight weak ore. It's just a heads up notification. Probably not going to end up staying that way, but whatever. Same thing, if you want to import it, go to new, go to import, type in the thing, or just copy and paste it from the YouTube. It's not comments. It's not comments. Shut up. And then you just hit import after you load it. In the description. That's what it's called. Alright. Summon Moonkin form, all is well, all is good. Alright. So it's going to be the same thing with Dream of Scenarios. Remember to cast Healing Touch early on. Yeah, pre-pull with that. Alright, so I have it. Once I'm done here, look at that. It's supposed to be a progress bar, but it's not. I don't know why. It's messing up. I'm mad. Oh, there it is. Awesome. Cool thing about this is it saves a lot of time. Bad thing about this is it appears to be covering over my... Oh well. As far as where Solar Force has its place, it may very well have its place in fights such as this stock it may be very good for. Who knows? Anyways, just to give you guys a general understanding of the ability, even if I'm not playing all that well with it. Alright, enough of that. Nobody needs your Astral Insight. Although it's pretty awesome to go from halfway through an eclipse to the completely other eclipse. Anyways, thought I'd give you guys a heads up. Now, of course, it's doing it again. It keeps proccing. No, it's actually making me want to play it, and I'm mad because I don't know how well this... Anyways, I'm rambling. Ray, stop rambling. Got it. Didn't cast Healing Touch. Alright. Alright, so if you guys have any questions about 5.4, maybe I'll make a UI video. I keep saying that every tier, and I'm lying. Maybe I'll make a Abyss list. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see what ends up happening in the future. Stay updated for boss videos. Awesome. Goodbye, team.